Welcome to another episode of Reese's Reviews, brought to you by mygeekculture.com.au. My name is now Reece Cashel by default, so because I need to fit the format of this podcast, and so I am Reece Cashel II, and I'm sitting with virtually Reece Cashel I, the original, the OG, I should say. How are you, Reece?
How you going, buddy? How's it going, everyone? Yes, my name is Matthew Fulton. I am the OG original legend that is everything to do with podcast and legendary of editing and producing.
Shucks. Shush.
Just tag
okay, stop it. Yeah, don't give me an ego. Don't give me a complex. In this episode, we'll be talking about two fresh movies that I haven't seen that I do want to see, but of course Reece has seen them before I do, so I'll take his reviews and thoughts on it, as well as we might as well just go straight into it, and we have straight off the rank entertainment honorable mentions. So Reece, take it away.
Okay, so I've had as I do when I come onto this podcast, I do have a list. I literally have a list. So you can probably anyone who's audio version, but if Matthew can see
I can see a list.
I can see a full list of pages.
Big A4 notepad. Spiral notepad.
Dot points I can go through.
And his handwriting is pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty. Okay, so I'm going to go through a few of them at the moment. So I don't know how much time we'll go through them, but maybe you can pluck up a few of them. So the first one I've got, this was announced last week as a recording of this podcast that Taylor Sheridan. Do you know who Taylor Sheridan is?
Is that? No.
Okay. Taylor Sheridan is pretty much the main person at Paramount. He's the person who...
Oh, wait, yes. He's the one who's kind of written or helped produce Landman,
Lioness, Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah, I'm currently watching Landman, so yeah.
He's the big guy at Paramount, and he has spitted out gold. Now he's teamed up with Peter Berg. Mm-hmm. Do you know who Peter Berg is?
No.
So Peter Berg is a really good producer. He's worked with Taylor Sheridan in the past on a film called Hell or High Water and Wind River. He's also executive produced a Hercules film with Dwayne Johnson. He did Lone Survivor. He produced that with Mark Wahlberg.
So he's got an extensive catalogue.
He does, absolutely. So him and Peter Berg are developing a Call of Duty film for Paramount.
Oh, wow.
So back in the days where you always knew a couple of things, and one of them was that game adaptation movies suck. Like, you can never get a good game adaptation. Like, Doom was pretty bad.
Super Mario Brothers, Sonic was okay.
And now we're in the kind of a good way at the moment where you're actually getting a lot of good video game adaptation. Like you said, you've got the Sonic trilogy has made 3 films. You've got Super Mario Brothers. You've got The Last of Us. Mixed opinions if you liked Uncharted. I was here half and half on that. And you're
Fallout, the TV series, yeah.
Yeah, Fallout was another one. Twisted Metal. You got all of these great video games adaptations coming out, and Call of Duty is the next thing on the rank. The fact that it's taking this long to do a Call of Duty film, which is really hard because you've got a lot of those action war kind of films made throughout everything around the film industry. So how they're going to make this one stand on its own 2 feet and be separate to everything else that's come before in that genre of war action, I don't know how they're going to do it. The only way I can think they would adapt it is to take some main plot points on one of the famous franchises within Call of Duty, which is probably Modern Warfare. And he's got Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3. They could adapt some of those storylines and bring some of those characters in as well. But the fact that you've got Taylor Sheridan and Peter Berg on hand to develop this and write it and pretty much bring this to the silver screen, color me interested. I am so pumped for this. I love Call of Duty is one of my favorite games to play. I play it to this day. I love playing I'm just getting into the online kind of playing, but I've always been a campaign kind of guy. I loved it. So the fact that you've got the master of Taylor Sheridan, I would say majority of his things he's co-created and produced, I've loved. The only one I haven't watched that Taylor Sheridan has done for Paramount is The Mayor of Easttown with Jeremy Renner, and I haven't watched Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone yet. But all the other ones I've watched. Lioness is one of my favorites. I love Lioness with Zoe Saldana and Nicole Kidman. My wife and I just watched the premiere episode of Landman, which that's just Billy Bob Thornton was just made for that role.
Don't spoil it for me. I haven't watched it yet. I'm
okay,
building
so this
them up.
is how we're going to spoil the living hell out of Landman for Maddie here. No, I'm not going to do that.
I'm waiting for a couple of episodes to build up, and then I'm going to do like say 2 or 3 in a row.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, well, it definitely started off with it didn't start off with a bang, but it started off with a good narrative push, how this season's going to go. But
it's like kind of what I'm holding off at the moment, waiting for the 3rd episode of, at the time of the recording of Pluribus. So...
okay.
Yeah,
I'm hearing some good reviews about that.
Yeah, well, I'm a big Vince Gilligan fan, so
okay.
I love my Breaking Bad, love Better Call Saul, and
nice.
Yeah, so... so that's where those types of shows are somewhat coming back in season again. So I'm just building them up to have at least 2 or 3 episodes.
I can understand that because I had the same approach with the Welcome to Dairy series. It's currently going on HBO Max. I've watched the first 2 episodes, and I think I'm waiting for 1 or 2 more to drop, and then I'll binge a couple of episodes behind it because I'm up to they've dropped 3 and 4 and still waiting to get up with it. So that's what I'm doing. So, but the fact that they've got this news and development for Paramount, which is fantastic, I cannot wait to see what they bring to the silver screen. Like I said about this news, and do you much interest in? Because I know you're not a huge gamer, but do you?
Oh, of course. I in fact, after we record this episode, I'm going to hop online and play Simpsons Fortnite. So,
nice.
Yes, let off some steam.
Did you ever play Call of Duty?
Yeah, Call of Duty, yeah. In fact, that was one of my first PlayStation 3 games, which was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And then when I got that with the console when I first got it. And then from there, I started going backwards and started playing the old Call of Duties. To the ones because I don't like playing those games online, like Call of Duty, because
I was the same. Very much a campaign guy.
Yeah, I did it once, and tried to do it, and I kept getting my ass kicked by someone who was like what they sounded like they were. I could have easily, drove over them. So in real life, well, yeah. Anyway, so that does intrigue me. So Call of Duty movie, bring it on.
Awesome.
Bring it on.
Yeah. So that was one of them. The next thing what I was thinking of talking about, it's pretty much around the Marvel MCU. So at the moment, there's a festival going on where Ryan Coogler is still talking about his brilliant film that is Sinners. Have you got around to watching Sinners yet?
Nope.
Okay.
No, not because I'm not interested. It's because I just haven't had time to. So, life has been life has been a struggle. Yeah.
Well, what I'm gonna I don't know. I said to us last week. I've created a list on my Letterboxd for you and me to watch.
Good. Have you now?
Yeah, excellent. I did it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm adding Sinners to our list of things to watch together.
Sweet.
So I've added that just now to our list. Okay, so Ryan Coogler was talking in this special about Sinners, and pretty much people were asking about upcoming projects and things. What's he's got coming up next, and he dropped some pretty big news. And he said his next film that he's going to be doing is Black Panther 3.
Oh, well, there you go.
So a lot of people knew it was coming. It was hinted us a little while ago, saying that when Denzel Washington was interviewed a while ago, pretty much said that he wants all these films he wants to do before he retires, and he said, one of them is Ryan Coogler's writing a part for me in the next Black Panther film. And then everyone in the zeitgeist of entertainment said, well, now we know we're getting a Black Panther 3, and we know that Denzel Washington is going to be in it. So Marvel didn't release that news, Denzel Washington did.
Whoops.
So Ryan Coogler's pretty much said that is going to be his next film. So when he said that, and he's pretty much saying that, yep, that's going to be my next film, that pretty much tells me that he's already started thinking about it. The script should almost be locked. They should be almost in pre-production at the moment. So if that means that the way that they've got the schedules going, especially coming up with Doomsday and Secret Wars, if they go into production sometime of early next year, we should be able to get a Black Panther 3 before we get
Secret Wars.
Before Secret Wars in 2027.
So I'll squeeze in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, yeah.
Yeah, so that was big shock to me. I went, wow, he's actually said it. Black Panther is his next film. So I have mixed feelings about the second one. I wasn't a huge fan of Wakanda Forever. I still thought it was good. It was enjoyable.
They had to do it that way because of the situation that they were in.
Is a question I would ask you. Do you this is not the first situation that this film suggests this happened. A lot of films have had this predicament happen to them as well. Do you think when it comes to Black Panther, it was do you agree with the decision to kill off the character of T'Challa, or did you think they should have recast him?
Kind of like what they did with Hulk, when they got rid of Edward Norton and then they just recast with Mark Ruffalo and a few other characters. I think because Chadwick Boseman died, you couldn't really replace him. So it was under a different condition because of the passing. But then again, you look at William Hurt, and when he passed away and then they replaced him with Harrison Ford.
Yep.
So, but then again, it's a struggle. I'd say behind the scenes, they would have had that option to go, hey, who can we replace? But Chadwick owned that character. Thunderbolt Ross was like more of a secondary character. Like he wasn't like primary.
Yeah.
But the only way you can incorporate him is mainly a strong support character who could easily be replaced.
Yeah, I can understand all those points. My thing is, like, you brought up a suggestion on the reference of it. They replaced William Hurt with Harrison Ford, and when I was reading more about different, and always get different opinions and talk about different to people, and some people are saying that how sometimes you can honor an actor and the performance they gave to a certain franchise is to, especially with one, like, I understand, like, I do not fault them at all with them killing off the character because they were tasked with an impossible decision. They just lost. Ryan Coogler had a vision of what he wanted to do for that film, and then he was turned upside down when Chadwick unfortunately passed away. And so he had to rewrite the entire script. So I understand where it all came from, a place of love, and I have no ill will, nothing at all with him and the creators behind the film. Nothing at all. My only counter argument to it is that one of the ways you can honor Chadwick is, especially like you said, T'Challa's character to the MCU was so pivotal, so crucial. He was lined up perfectly to lead the MCU moving forward after Tony and Steve left the franchise. He could have led it, and the fact that they killed him off was like they kind of squandered that legacy and that build-up of that character. So they could have recast him and pretty much gone and taken the mantle off Chadwick, saying, we've got you, don't worry, we've got it from here, and we'll go on from there. So I understand that notion as well, to honoring Chadwick Boseman and saying, thank you so much for what you did, we'll take it from here and we'll carry on your legacy with you with this character. So what I think is that, especially in either Doomsday or Secret Wars, because they're beautiful if you think it's beautiful, of the multiverse, they could bring in another T'Challa.
Like, yeah, they could
another
universe,
easily
do that.
And because the way this, if they go with what Secret Wars is in the comics and they bring everything together and migrate everything into one universe, they could introduce T'Challa into either Doomsday, sometime in Secret Wars. The whole multiverse will collapse into one streamlined Prime universe, and then we'll get another T'Challa, another Prime Black Panther. So
kind of like a reset, yeah.
Yeah, in a way. So I am so intrigued to see.
But it still makes sense because of the way that the Marvel history works, or the storyline.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can get away with it. It's a very that's one of the worst things about multiverse in a way, because you can do it. It's a big cop out in a lot of ways, because you can just, it's an excuse for anything. Someone dies, oh no, you can just bring it back because it's a multiverse. So it's a very cheap way of doing it, but it's the way that you can bring it. And how, if this is a film that's going to lead into Secret Wars in 2027, it's got a lot more writing on it as well. So who's going to be the Black Panther? A lot of people had mixed opinions about Wakanda Forever because Shuri was named Black Panther. I personally don't believe she should have been named Black Panther. I thought there's a lot of better characters in that movie that could have, like M'Baku or Okoye, or the widow, or the partner of T'Challa. They could have been a lot more better candidates for it rather than Shuri, but they decided to go that route, which people will say, oh, that was in the comics. I know that was in the comics, but this is a film. Films are different. They take notes from them. So I believe in that point. So it's the MCU. I'm always geared up to the next one. Do you have any thought process of Black Panther 3, or what was your thought process of the franchise so far? You got the first two in the franchise. What's your thoughts about that?
I honestly think that, and this is going to be quite sacrilege, but I can't connect well with the Black Panther story.
Okay.
Like the franchise, yeah. Like I watch them because they're all part of it.
Yeah.
But I just don't have a strong connection with it.
So you couldn't relate to the story.
No, I'm only watching it because it's part of the whole universe.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I find it not the weakest, even though it rated very well. It's just some that it's like with Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't like when I saw Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. I found it pretty boring. I think it's because I don't know too much of Wakanda world, the world of Wakanda, basically. So, yeah.
Okay. I loved the first one. I thought it was pretty much almost a brilliant film, except for the bits in the third act I thought I didn't like. Especially that was more of a visual side. But Wakanda Forever, it was one of those things. I loved the first act of Wakanda Forever, but when you get into the second and the latter part of the film, there's a lot of choices I didn't like. So,
but take my thoughts and opinions to a grain of salt, because I am one of those rare people who actually enjoyed the Marvels.
I enjoyed the Marvels. I didn't think it was fantastic, but I said a lot of people panned that film, but I think it was still it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fantastic, but I still had a good bit of fun with it. And Kamala Khan, I will watch anything with her in it. I just love that character. I think she's brilliant.
Yeah.
So, but that's Black Panther 3. One last thing I would touch on is pretty much, okay, well, actually now I will touch on it. We had as the recording of this podcast, I think it got released yesterday. We've got the latest edition in the Disney live action remakes coming next year, and that is Moana. Me personally, I loved the original. I thought it's beautiful. That song, How Far We Go, what's the song that they go, Cause Me Till I Know. That song gets me every time. Love that song. The Maui, Dwayne Johnson's character, I love that film. And the message it has, I just think it's beautiful.
Can you sing it one more time?
No, I'm not going to break it.
Well, I am going to cut and use that as a promo.
Oh, great. No, please no. I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, so the live action remakes from Disney have not been all the greatest. They've been one or two good ones, one great one, and then a lot of them have been hit and miss.
So basically, it's been like make it an animated animated movie, rates extremely well. Hey, since that was successful, we do have the technology. How about we make a live action one?
Yeah,
That's
I
the
would
way.
say so, but it also comes down to they have to be in this. It has to give it some time to breathe before they actually make it. I think this is the first time when they've actually done a live action remake where the film has not had huge longevity. Like, just I'm gonna quickly jump onto Letterboxd here as I got it. Moana, the original one, came out in 2016. So this is coming out in next year. So that's only been 10 years since the first one came out that we're getting a live action remake. So that's been that's the first time, because all the other live action remakes were all films remade from the 90s and like the 90s, pretty much,
Well,
of all the like Cinderella, Aladdin, Lion
well, how
King.
about they do a live action remake of Finding Nemo?
Yeah, it's called the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're out and they're all. I like that. There
Thanks.
also talks about it is in discussion and pre-production in a way. It hasn't been fully gone through, but they're trying to get a live action Tangled going as well. But yeah, but they've had to release the new trailer for Moana live action. Now this is in the definition of a teaser. So it was about just over a minute long. It showed the visuals, so key shots we knew from the original. We got a glimpse of Moana herself. The actress they got to play her, I think she looks perfect for it. We've got pretty much a new kind of listen to the iconic song. She does sound a bit different, but it still hit me. Like those notes that when it came across on that trailer, I went, "Yes, I'm back." I just love it. And they're still. I think they still got some time. They got some work to do with some of the visuals. So some of the visual, but they got the coconut people and they got the chicken and things like that. I think they got some work to do with the visuals and the CGI. But I thought I would. I didn't think I would get a glimpse of Dwayne Johnson because he is coming back as Maui. So I thought we'll get a glimpse, but I think at the same time they're trying to maybe they're trying to keep him for the next trailer, the next one after, because you got a glimpse of the back of him and his hook, and that's about it. So this literally was a teaser trailer. So I thought it was a great trailer. It did its job. It's built up my anticipation for it, and I am so looking forward to seeing what this installment, what they're gonna do. If it's anything like a lot of people have mixed opinions about How You Train Your Dragons one live action. A lot of people thought that I think the negative ones about it was pretty much said it is literally a carbon copy of the animated. They didn't deviate that much from the animated. I
Yep.
still thoroughly enjoyed the live action How to Train Your Dragon 4 was beautiful, and I think that's a benchmark of live action remakes where you can keep the essence of it, but still build on the mythology that is brought to it. So as long as they can do that and bring a lot more of that Moana's heart and the story of what that impacts, I think they're on a right track. And from what I've seen so far, I'm definitely on board. Okay, I probably know the answer to this question, but
No, I haven't seen them, but I am looking forward to it.
have you? What's your opinions of the original?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, good thing I'm on Letterboxd. I'm going to add that to my list.
Yeah.
Oh, why not? So, when it comes to Disney, do you watch too much of the Disney animated from Disney Studios, or?
I don't watch too much of that. Like, probably, if anything, I would watch my Monsters Inc.
Okay.
Yeah, like I haven't watched Toy Story 3 or 4, and I know the fifth one is currently being made.
Yep, it comes out
Um,
next year.
but yeah, I'm a hit and miss with the animated series, but they always intrigue me. It's
Okay.
just, yeah. But then again, I did watch the Monsters Inc. Series.
Yep.
So,
Well, that's the thing. Toy Story 4 made me. I was tearing up in the cinema at the end of the Toy Story 4.
Yep. It
But
is, yeah, like I will watch them, but maybe I'm a little bit old school with this stuff. So
okay.
maybe I just stick with the stuff that I grew up with, like, say, Mary Poppins. So,
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah, and I did see Mary Poppins Returns. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's I thought it was a great trailer. I thought it did well. it did its job. It gave me my anticipation, and I wasn't even thinking about Moana until they dropped the trailer yesterday, and now I'm intrigued. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go for delving back into that world and see how far I'll go.
Excellent.
Excellent.
All right. Well, that's entertainment honorable mentions. Thank you, Reece. All right, let's run away from that segment. And let's get on to a reboot of a movie from the 80s. Sorry, that's my really bad Arnold impression. But I haven't seen it yet. I am looking forward to watching it. Okay. And that is because other than the fact that I love Edgar Wright and his movies are fantastic. I love his style. And that movie is the one that Reece has just seen, and that is Edgar Wright's vision of Running Man.
Yes, it is The Running Man. Now, a lot of people are saying it's a remake of an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I went, no, it's not. It's an adaptation from. Apparently it's a true adaptation of the source material that is The Running Man, written by Stephen King. So,
Fantastic.
I went into this film. I have not seen the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger, so I had no pre-context about this film. I saw the trailers. I thought it looked very intriguing. Yes, it has that old premise of like Hunger Games sort of things where you've got this person, he's running. Life is hard. He's trying to provide for his family. He's got a sick daughter. This is not a spoiler. This is all in the trailer. We don't do spoilers for our audience on new releases, so non-spoiler. This is all in the trailer. So marketing. So he's trying to provide for his family, and he's got a sick daughter. And the only in the futuristic world that he's set in, he got all these different competitions you can apply for, and depending on your personality and on what you do and things like that, they will pinpoint you to a certain category towards a certain game point where you can earn some money. And he goes into the Running Man, which is the most dangerous one of all, but it also has the most highest reward, where you've got to last for 30 days, where you've got the hitman squad from the Running Man after you, and then you got pretty much the public being able to get in on the action and earn something as well by giving tips on if they spot these running men in the real world. That's the whole premise. And from what I saw in the marketing, I was locked in. I also, like you, I'm a fan of Edgar Wright. I love the trilogy he did with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, The World's End, Hot Fuzz, Shaun the Dead. I think he also did Paul with them, didn't he?
No,
it wasn't Paul?
No.
Okay.
He didn't do Paul. It's basically the Paul cousin of that thing. So yeah.
I just think because you've got Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, I thought Edgar Wright was somehow involved.
I think Edgar Wright, they were going to try to get him to do it, but I think he was a scheduling conflict.
Right.
So he wasn't available. But also, don't forget Baby Driver. Last night.
How great is Baby Driver?
Yeah, killer soundtrack.
That was a hidden gem for me. I walked into going, not knowing what to expect and having no expectation. I walked out, I'm going, that was bloody brilliant.
Yep.
Love that movie. Every scene in the car where he's got his headphones on and he's whipping that Subaru around. Oh, what great way to open up a film.
Oh, 100%. Soundtrack is a killer too.
Oh, yeah. But
and also Last Night in Soho, which is a beautiful
film I have not seen.
Oh, wow. Okay. Finally, a film that he has not seen that I've seen. So Last Night in Soho with Anya Taylor-Joy. Okay.
And
Matt Smith.
Matt Smith is in that too, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, I highly would recommend it. For the whole and he also did the Sparks documentary, which I have not seen yet. But
okay.
And Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes, he did that. Yes.
One of our firm favorites here. So
yes.
Yeah.
I had a lot of expectation going into this film. I love the marketing. I'm getting to be a decent fan of Glenn Powell. I think the last few films of his I've really enjoyed. I've known him before this, but he burst onto the scene for a lot of people in Top Gun Maverick. He then went on to do Twisters, which I thought was a hugely entertaining film and paid homage to the original. He then did a film for Netflix called Hitman, which I thought he did brilliantly, playing all those characters, and that was a great film, which is very rarely for Netflix when they actually do great films, because a lot of the times they're crap.
And he filmed, took up a lot of space at Barangaroo to film Anyone
Anywhere
But You.
But You. Yes, one of my favorite ones, with the hottie of the hottie at the moment, with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell being hot girl fit, as they say in the movie. So going in from there and just going into this one, I was going, yeah, I'm ready for this. I want to be entertained. The trailers had an action packed throughout, and it should be a good narrative story. And then I came out.
Oh.
I was disappointed. Thoroughly.
It's not going to stop me, though. Yeah, it's not going to stop me.
No, please don't. Like, I found the first act and a half, like the first 45 to an hour, was entertaining. Like, you got the story going, you understood the purpose behind the character, you got on board with Glenn Powell's charisma on point. Like, you were right behind his character from the get-go. You understood his narrative plot, why he wanted to get through it, and he definitely delved into being able to do the emotional side, but then just having pure anger for the corporation side of thing. I thought it was done brilliantly for Glenn. I think he led this film beautifully. His charisma shows through. Where I kind of thought, and I was listening to some other podcasts and other views and just trying to gather my thoughts after a few days, and I kind of agree with some of them where I think that this film does really good for the first hour, maybe an hour and 20 goes into it. And then shortly after they introduce you to Michael Cera's character, the movie falls off a cliff. And it's like, again, got halfway through production and decided to go, I'm done. And just changed the narrative, changed the way
sounds like a studio executive interfered.
I don't know, but
because Edgar Wright was trying to do, put his fingerprints all over Ant-Man. And then he left because studio executives started to fiddle with the stuff. So I'd say that maybe with Running Man, they got to a certain point. He's like, I'll stick with it.
Well, apparently, from what I can understand, the source material in the book, the ending has a lot of mixed feelings. That they said that you couldn't make a faithful adaptation to the ending of the book. Oh, okay. I haven't read the book, so I can't comment on that. I just think that the last 40 or 45 minutes of the film, they make a lot of stupid decisions, and you don't understand to why, and it goes left and right fields, and I'm going, and how it ends, and I'm going, I just left it like, you know how you get some of these films where the first or second act are decent, and the third act is a letdown, but you still give the film a thumbs up because the first two act were really decent.
Supports the third act, yeah.
Yeah, it supports it in a way, saying, yeah, I didn't like how they ended it, but I really enjoyed the lead up, so I still give it a good review on that point. With this one, I still gave it, I think I gave it 2.5 stars or 3 stars, like a benchmark, and I liked it because I liked that first hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm thinking of maybe taking the like off it, because the ending, it was just, it didn't redeem the first 2 acts of the film because they made a lot of decisions that I didn't actually agree with, and I thought it was very badly handled, and some of the points that they were making. So, but that was just my point. Like, the pacing is definitely a bit slow at points.
Yep.
There is the trailers and the marketing make it look like it's action packed throughout. It is not. Like, they have some good action set pieces in it, and it's pretty much, you can see a lot of that in the trailers. But if you think the marketing is a little bit is definitely deceptive in that point, because it's not actually a lot of hugely action that's not actually shown in the trailer. So I thought there's going to be a lot more of a like guns blaze. As soon as he gets into the game, it's guns blazing kind of thing. Like, it's going to be like a non-stop, but it's not. It has a lot of. It's definitely a lot of a character base, and it's definitely a lot of dialogue in a lot of places and bringing things together. So I found that was part of it. I thought was a bit different onto it because it's focused on the story, which is indeed, the story is a key thing in all films, and it needs that. But if you're going to have a narrative plot point of keeping the marketing of film as a big blockbuster action film, and you want to base it in the story, which is fantastic, you need to have those two complement each other. And I think I left the mark a little bit on this one as well. So this definitely became a bit messy, and it was a bit of a disappointing ending.
Oh, what a shame.
But that's just my kind of 2 cents on a point, because but apparently it is a faithful adaptation to the source material until you get to the ending kind of thing. But you are probably a lot more of an Edgar Wright fan than what I am. So, because I've only seen I think all of these films only once.
All right. Well, I'll try to see it sooner rather than later, and I'll get back to you as a Running Man Part 2 review. Yeah.
So that is Running Man. Like I said, I gave it. I'm just looking at my Letterboxd now, and I'm going to downgrade it on my Letterboxd. Good thing about Letterboxd, I can up and downgrade it as I like to. So I've given it a 2.5 stars, and I've taken the like off it. So it's
Mate, that's what I did with Tron Ares. I gave it, I think it was like 4 stars, and then I downgraded it to 3.5 after I kind of let it absorb.
That's what I think we should do. Like, it's like if you're going to be, people are going to think that your scores and your remarks and your things are concrete. You need a lot of films that, especially if the ones you don't think you like too much, you need to mellow in them. You got to think. Which is why when I talked about Superman, like, I came out of that completely on a high, and then you watch it again for the second time after you've come off down from that high, and you appreciate it.
Yeah,
that's a film that is, and then you take a few days just to delve in it, kind of think about it, mellow in it, and then you can come back to it going, you know what, I like this, and this. I think I did very well. This part and this part I'm not too like. Like, I got so high expectations for this coming week that we're recording this podcast for Wicked Part 2, Wicked for Good. So I know there is a high chance I'm going to be walking out of that movie on a complete high. So I just think that once I've gotten down from that nerdgasm in a way, I'll have to maybe go watch it again in a different lens and just mellow with it a few bit before I actually do my really good review on it, which will be the week up next week when we talk about. I'll probably be talking about that, which is you're not going to like very much because you're not a big fan of Wicked. But I'm going to change that back because Wicked Part 1 is on our list of things to watch together. Backtracking a little bit to Running Man, bit of a disappointment for me overall. Didn't enjoy it as much, and looks like the audience has agreed with it because it fell short of its projections for the opening box office weekend, and looks like our next film that we're going to be reviewing very shortly trumped it on its opening opening weekend. So it's got the film we're about to review got number 1 at the box office over Running Man. So go figure.
Well, let's run away from Reese's review of Running Man to the world of magic.
The world of magic. And no, we are not talking about Harry Potter, even though I would love to spend an hour talking about Harry Potter, which will...
Wingardium Leviosa. Not Leviosa.
Potter. So I would pretty much turn my co-host to put him to sleep if I start talking about Harry Potter. But we're not talking about Harry Potter on this journey we're doing on this evening or morning or afternoon, whenever you listen to this podcast. We are talking about Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Not to be confused with the 80s and 90s children's television game show on Channel 9 or Channel 7, which was called Now You See It. So, you're too young. So this is the third one in the series.
Yes, it is. So never would have thought when I went and saw the first one that this would spawn a franchise, but the first one did relatively well. I really, really enjoyed the first one. I thought it was a breath of fresh air. It was something original, something new. It delved into something in the pop culture community that you actually don't see very often on the big screen, which is the like magic and sorcery and illusions and things like that. And I thought it painted a really fun, entertaining scope on that with the first one. And I thought the entire cast was perfectly casted. You got Jesse Eisenberg, Eisen Fisher, Woody Harrelson, Dave Franco, Morgan Freeman.
So basically half of Zombieland.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then you've got Mark Ruffalo in the first one, and then they did so well, so they spawned a sequel where you have which is why I mentioned at the beginning, you had Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe, come in the sequel to be the villain, which was very entertaining. Now, the story wasn't strong in the second one. I still found it thoroughly entertaining. It was still enjoyable to watch.
Because what did they do? Like with Isla Fisher's character, they wrote her.
They just said that she left the group, and her and Atlas kind of broke up, and then they went their separate ways. Had a falling out, and she went off and did her own thing and had a family and things like that. And so that goes into this one. Now, I didn't have my expectations wasn't hugely high. I like this franchise. It's fun. It's entertaining, and hopefully you get what you get out of it. As long as you walk out of it entertained and you had some fun with it, then I think it's done its job. The fact that they brought back Isla Fisher in this installment, she's back, and then you got the entire cast along with some new additions to the cast. So you've got I think she's very underrated. Rosamund Pike is the villain, which I thought is very perfectly casted. If you've seen Gone Girl,
yeah,
I've
seen Gone Girl, yeah.
You also got additions to the cast of Justice Smith, Dominic Caesar, and Ariana Greenblatt. Now, anyone who's been watching Star Wars lately or Marvel lately would recognize that Ariana Greenblatt. She's the go-to person to play young characters these days. She was in Ahsoka, playing young Ahsoka. In Infinity War and Endgame, she played young Gamora. So she's getting a name for herself, and she's in this one as well. So I thought I enjoyed this film.
Good.
I'm not like our previous discussed film of Running Man. I walked out of this film. I enjoyed it. I was entertained. I had fun with it. The only thing I would say about this film is that the story is the weakest out of the three. I didn't think it was didn't have a strong story. A lot of the magic tropes and things they were doing of sleight of hand, I found was very predictable.
Wow, that's interesting, because if you found the story weak or the plot weak, because it wasn't Isla Fisher, the reason why that she didn't come into the second one was she just refused in general.
I personally wouldn't know the answer to that. I'm not too sure why she didn't return. I don't know if it was conflict. It was
it might have been a filming. It might have been a scheduling conflict. Yeah,
scheduling conflict, something like that. I personally wouldn't know the answer to that. So, but she did come back for this one. Like I said, the story isn't strong. I found a lot of the points about it were very predictable, and the big story reveal in the third act, I picked it up in the first 45 minutes.
Gotcha.
So when I was watching this, I was sitting here and watching, and I'm going, I think this, and then if we wanted to get towards the end, I went, I picked that up about an hour ago, but my wife constantly tells me that she kind of gets annoyed with me at some points. It's because I can pick plot points for TV shows and movies pretty easily.
Yeah, I like doing that, and that annoyed a few people that I would watch. I wouldn't say it out loud in the cinema, but if I'll be watching it at home, it's like, oh, I know what's going to happen, or I bet it's this. And then, that's why I tend to watch a lot of movies by myself.
I've started to refrain from speaking out now, unless I'm with certain people who are similar minded. Like if I'm watching something with you or watching someone else who was on this podcast, Mr. Liddell, us three are very similar minded, where we can pick up narrative plot points pretty easily. Yeah. So we can actually bounce off each other in that point. But you don't want to say that to other people because you find that they'll kind of ruin the experience because you already know what's going to happen. But we're saying all of that. A lot of people might think that that's a negative point for the film. It can be. It is a con because a lot of thought process wasn't done in that point, because I was able to pick up things a lot easier, and a lot of it was very predictable, and the strong wasn't strong. But what I found was good about the film was I loved the cast. The chemistry, all on point. The four horsemen, or now five horsemen, because if you've seen the fifth one, you know that plot point. I'm not gonna say anything else. But the Horsemen are back, and the chemistry is on fire. The new additions to the cast, the three new young leads, their chemistry together was very well done, and you believed them. And I think when you put the Horsemen and these three together, they all worked. It's not like you found that their chemistry and their performances were forced or overreaching. You found that they were. You actually really. There's one scene which is in the trailer. Have you seen the trailer for this film?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know that the scene in the trailer where you see Ala Fisher get kind of have a little bit of dust, and she gets put into a white dress.
Yep.
Okay, so that scene is pretty much they're all showing off their abilities as magicians, and that scene is fun. Like I was watching this scene, I was going, you can just see that the actors, all of them, are just having fun. They're enjoying each other's company. They're riffing off each other, and it's so much fun to watch. And I think that's where this film finds its strength is the chemistry between the different characters, how much fun they were having on set, and how they're just bringing things to fruition. So yes, we're time to get to the main thing, which happens at all three of these films. When you get to the ending, when they kind of unveil the magic trick per se and found it and tell you the big reveal of the story. I'm watching it. I was kind of getting bored in that kind of cynical. I'm going, I picked up on this ages ago. I knew this was happening. I knew that was gonna. I kind of got bored, but then once you got past that point, you got back to the characters. I enjoyed it. So it is a fun time at the movies. Enjoyed it. It's like I said, it's not the best out of the trilogy. I still think it still goes one, two, three.
Yep.
But with saying that, it's still a fun time to have. I gave it 3 stars on my Letterboxd, and I gave it a thumbs up.
Okay, so would it be like, say, like the Oceans trilogy type thing, but with magic? Because it's all about being, heists and stuff.
Yeah, it can be. Yes, it does. It's just that they put more thought into Oceans than I do. No, see me.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a fun time. Could I sit down and watch this again? Yes.
Good.
And that tells you enough. Like, I wouldn't say I'm not rushing to go see it again, but if it's on, if someone goes, I've never seen the movie, I went, sure, I'll sit down and watch it with you. No problem. It's enjoyment at that point because you enjoy the characters. And a lot of the times where I make this reference a lot of the time with people when the story's not strong enough, but you go back for the characters. One of my favorite shows of all time, I think it's in my top 3 or top 5 shows of all time, is Supernatural. Now, once you get past season 5 or 6, some of the narrative story points aren't strong. But the reason I kept on going back each week was to hang out with Sam and Dean and Castiel and Crowley. Like, you just love hanging out with the brothers and hanging out with the characters. That sometimes you didn't mind that the stories weren't strong or had a bit of a lapse because you just love hanging out with the characters. And I find sometimes it applies in some instances in this film is that you love you just love hanging out with them. Like
you connect with them.
You do. And the fact that you've got someone like Woody Harrelson, his comedic timing has not left a beat. He plays this, it's like this character was written for him. And it was like, he's just the hypnotist.
He owns it.
Yeah, the hypnotist side of things, which is some people thinking it's kafooey in a way. He just delivers it so well-heartedly. Jesse Eisenberg provides that very much confident leader of the group where he do not think you're the and goes, don't think you're the smartest guy in the room, prove it, kind of thing. Like, he definitely brings that point. And then you've got Dave Franco being Dave Franco. He's good to be that loyalty kind of person, and then Ola Fisher is still as beautiful as ever. But I'm a bit biased. She is an Aussie. She's a little bit before my time on Home and Away, but I love Isla Fisher. I think she's gorgeous, and so just bringing this all around and bringing Morgan Freeman back for a couple of for a little intimate scenes there and there. So I would say if you're umming and ahhing about this film, I would say go it, make it, give it a go, make your own opinions about it, what you think about it. But if you like the first and two, I still think that you'll definitely get some enjoyment out of this one because there is still fun to be had. And Rosamund Pike, delivers a good performance. She's not a stereotypical, like, these kind of films can very much point your villains into a very much a narrow box where they don't have much dimensions to them. They're very much one-sided. But she actually brings a little bit more depth to it, and you kind of want to see her demise, which is kind of what you want out of a villain. So I think she was a shining star in this film as well, Rosamund Pike. So overall, enjoyed it. 3 stars. I couldn't give it more than that because of the story and the predictability of everything. But other than that, I enjoyed it. Have you seen all the other 2?
I've only seen, I've seen the first one and I vaguely remember the second one, but that's really it. But I do enjoy the movies and I am looking forward to seeing the third one. So the fact that when they announced it, I went, "Oh, okay, that caught me off guard." So
yeah, a lot of people didn't think this soon was going to happen because the second one didn't do too well at the box office.
But obviously there was a script that was written and it's impressed the studio and they've gone, you know what? Yeah, we've got something here. We could make this into spin it off. So. And
it's done its job. Like I said, it got number 1 at the box office this week when it got released, beating out Running Man.
Yeah.
So I never would have thought, like, when you've got a film coming out with Running Man, which is Edgar Wright and based off a Stephen King novel, and then you got a third film of the franchise where they haven't had big box office success.
Stephen King is shining, no pun intended there.
This is the year.
Yeah, because you've got The Long Walk and then you got Welcome to Derry, or It's Welcome to Derry.
You got It, Welcome to Derry, you've got The Long Walk, you've got The Running Man, and you've got The Life of Chuck.
Yeah, so...
Like, he's killing it at the moment with his adaptions. So, overall, like I said, modern magic, charismatic characters are all back. Story's not strong, predictability, but fun is definitely had. And I'll leave this review off with the quote from the film of the franchise: "The closer you think you are, the less you actually see." Ooh. Very eerie, but this franchise is fun. It's fun. So you don't have to think too much. So,
thank you, Reece. Well, that wraps up this episode of Reece's Reviews. Thank you very much, Reece, for the recaps, the diagnosis of your films that you've seen, and I'm looking forward to catching them. So for sure. And if you want to suggest anything, send us an email, info@mygeekculture.com.au. Stay following our podcast and also feel free to give us a like of sorts. And any feedback would be greatly appreciated, as long as it's constructive and not destructive.
Yes, please. Yes. This is all about positivity. We spread it as much as possible. We do not take negatives. So if you've got negative comments, please give them to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thank you again very much, Reece. And thank you very much as well, you, the listener. My name is Matt. This has been Reece's Reviews for mygeekculture.com.au, produced by Matt Fulton Productions, mattfulton.com.au.
Be kind to yourselves, be amazing, and as always, my friends, may the force be with you.
May the Schwartz be with you.